Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. What am I doing, you ask? Oh, well, I'm just, making some popcorn so that I can watch the first 10 episodes of Astro Boy on DVD. I'll get right back to you after that, so give me like 45 minutes or something. Oh, hey guys, welcome back. It's been about 45 minutes or something like that, and somehow I haven't opened my popcorn. Well, I just finished watching all the Astro Boy episodes, so let's get right into the deets. You see, ever since I was a kid, I've loved Astro Boy. The movie came out when I was around 6, and then I just couldn't stop watching it. I got a bunch of merchandise and toys for it that I played with constantly. I never really forgot the movie, or the franchise as a whole. And then, about a year ago, it came out on Netflix. While it may not have been the best adaptation, it's still a fun little flick. This reignited all those memories and sent me on a mission to experience the original manga and anime as to become a true top-tier Astro Boy fan. Well, a few months passed, and my local anime convention came around, which I went to for the first time in my life. At the convention was this manga library that had a few of the volumes, but they weren't for sale, and they were missing a few of them, like, especially the first one. However, at the convention I was able to get this really dope bomber jacket at a price that I'm way too embarrassed to say on the internet. To experience the first adaptation of the character was an amazing experience. The only problem was, I didn't have a way to hold it in my hands. Why? That is until a few months later when I went to FYE and I saw it. The 2003 anime DVD box set. This thing was super affordable, and the packaging was really neat and honestly a little cute. The 50 episodes from the series are split up onto 5 different DVDs with, you guessed it, 10 episodes each. My personal favorite case is this one, episodes 11 through 20. I just kind of read there isn't anything that special about it. We aren't here today to talk about episodes 11 through 20, though. We're here to talk about these, the first 10. The first episode, as you'd expect it to be, is Astro's origin story. You can see him at the beginning while he's being made, hooked up to all these wires and stuff like that, and it's a pretty cool scene. Dr. O'Shea has to draw the entire city's power into Astro to start him up, and in doing so creates this episode's antagonist, which is a giant octopus that controls the city's power? Anyways, Astro is thrust into action and has to defeat this giant octopus, discovering his built-in rocket boots, his arm cannon, and other robotic enhancements that he has. The first episode serves as a really good exposition for most of the characters in the series, including one of my favorite villains of all time, Dr. Tenma. He and Dr. O'Shea have this dynamic really similar to that between Dr. Octavius and Norman Osborn in the Spider-Man video game, and I just really love that. But that's developed way later in the series, and I'll get into it then. Episode 2 really sets up the formula for the rest of the episodes. Astro's enjoying his day, this shows a metaphor for racism, a villain is revealed, and Astro defeats the villain and proves everybody wrong. The fun in this episode is Astro playing with a dog. The metaphor for racism is him being excluded from this cool little sport they made up for this show. The villain is a group of bad egg robots who's trying to perform an act of terrorism on a racquetball game? Astro's not supposed to be at this racquetball game, but he is anyways, so he's able to defeat the robots by defeating them at a game of racquetball. Oh my god, this plot is weird. Anyways, after Astro defeats the robots, everybody who doubted him is like, wow, thanks Astro, which, if you ask me, it's sort of like an ugly duckling, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer type of deal, but at the end of the day, it's cute, it's heartwarming, you know? The next 2 episodes introduce a new character, Atlas. Atlas is another robot created by Dr. Tenma, but he, unlike Astro, knows he was created by Dr. Tenma. He also, unlike Astro, is really good at doing robot stuff. The only difference, I guess, in the end is that Astro is able to overpower him. I guess it's just because he wanted to win more. Atlas's short character arc is still pretty cool. Its only downfalls are that it's overshadowed by Dr. Tenma's development, and it's sort of undermined by the fact that he's basically a plot device to further Tenma and Astro as characters. Since he does know that he was created by Dr. Tenma, he's able to tell Astro about this though, Astro swears he's just Dr. O'Shea's robot, but he has these flashbacks to his pre-robot days. So you sort of get development on the other side of Astro, which is neat. Episodes 5, 6, 7, and 10 all have pretty similar plots. All of them consist of a group of robots, or in episode 6's case, one robot, doing something they shouldn't do. Whether it be destroying a mine, stealing, supposedly destroying a giant farm after a weather tower goes haywire, that one's pretty weird, or freezing an entire planet. Although these plots aren't the same. Episode 5 takes place on one of the moons of Mars, where robots are malfunctioning because an alien is sending this signal out to them. That's basically all there is to it. There's not a lot on the surface, but it's still a pretty good episode. Episode 6 starts a recurring antagonist, Skunk. He's tricked this young robot into stealing from a museum, and by the end of the episode, Astro liberates the robot, and they become best friends forever, I think, but I don't know because she doesn't show up again. Episode 7's antagonist is a man who pretends to be down on his luck in order to get a job at a farm that produces giant veggie GMOs. He overrides the weather tower at the farm in order to make it flood and frame the robots, and while he's at it, he tries to kill a child. Astro brings the robots all together to save the farm from flooding, and even further foils the antagonist's plans by bringing the child that he tried to kill to an interview that he's having where he's framing the robots, and so the guy goes to jail. This episode also introduces this anti-robot cult, but I'm pretty sure I haven't seen anything else from them. Episode 10 brings back Dr. Tenma, who convinces a society of discontinued Venus Explorer robots that their purpose is to freeze the Earth and reset it. Astro reminds them what their true purpose was, which is, of course, to explore Venus, since they were Venus Explorer robots. After they find this out, they turn back on Dr. Tenma and then return to the ocean. Episode 8 is a fun one. This one takes place on a new robotic train, and wouldn't you know it, a clown dressed as a clown tries to sabotage the train. Astro has to follow the clown's trail of clues in order to save the people on the train. He also has to save the train. This show is so ridiculous, I love it. This episode is pretty great. I kind of like it because there's this part where Astro and the train make this girl feel like the hero. And I love it when that happens. That's what heroes are supposed to do. I lost it in The Amazing Spider-Man when he gives that mask to the little kid to give him the courage to save himself from the car. It's a hero thing to do, you know? The last episode for me to cover, and honestly my least favorite from this set, is episode 9. This takes place on a class trip that Astro is supervising, I think. Basically, the plot is that this little kid had a caretaker robot, and it was scrapped by Skunk before being thrown out for parts. However, the robot was struck by lightning. So, as the episode's name is, Franken, the robot takes a bunch of other parts from robots and makes itself giant. Astro, with the help from O'Shea, and who I can only assume is O'Shea's co-worker, has to take down this robot with O'Shea and his co-worker, finding out which part has to be shut down in order to disable it. In the end, the kid gets his robot back, and everybody lives happily ever after, the end. This episode wasn't that bad, it's just that it blended in with the others and wasn't that memorable to me. All in all, these 10 episodes were a really good intro to the series I admire so much. If I had to rank the episodes, it would go 3 and 4 Atlas's episodes, tied in first because of their great development and awesome fight scenes. Episode 8, Neon Express, in second for its touching story and fun take on the show's formula. Episode 6, Into Thin Air, the one where Skunk tries to trick the young robot, in third for its originality and great scenery plus art style. Episode 2, Rocket Ball, in fourth for introducing the formula and just being kind of bizarre in that really fun way that Astro Boy does. Episode 1 in fifth because I love origin stories, and this one is also pretty strange in that Astro Boy way. Episode 10, Venus Robots, is in sixth for developing Tenma's story as well as just having a pretty solid story about itself. Rainbow Canyon is in seventh for showing what it means to be a hero as well as introducing a new threat to Astro. Episode 5, Destination Des Moines, the one with the mining robots, is in eighth for being better than Episode 9. And episode 9, Franken, being in last, just sort of blending in with the rest, not really being that memorable. Now, this isn't to say any of these episodes were bad. In fact, I'd probably put this at 3rd or 4th place in my anime ranking so far. The only problem is some of them weren't as good as the others, or just kind of blended in the case of Franken. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to watching episodes 11 through 20, so I'll be right back with that.